welcome to another Sports Focus. I am your host, John McNeil. I have with me Mr. Kevin Sibbles, bam. And if you missed, you're missing someone, Mr. Jeff McIntosh is on assignment. Now, let's get into the recent hire of Mr. Derek Fisher, another brother that got a job after retiring from playing. This is the second year in a row that a once player, now he's a coach. 5 years, $25 million. You think he's going to help the Knicks out?
I think it will, because he's going to bring Phil's philosophy to the court. Phil's not going to be on the sideline. He's going to be up in the box, but he knows how Phil operates.
I hope it works out for the Knicks. I really do, because, people are paying too much damn money to be going to these games and not making the playoffs.
But I think it's going to take him a while to turn things around, but I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to get started.
They're in the East. They're in the East, so the turnaround should be quick. So if they was out West, you can forget about it.
Good point.
Now, let's get right down to the nitty-gritty. We got into it good last week. The Heat and the Spurs in this finals. It's looking like it's going to be like last year. Hold it, people. I told you Mr. McIntosh was on assignment. Okay. Mr. McIntosh, where are you reporting from?
I'm reporting from California.
California. Now, we was just talking about the Spurs and the Heat. Now, I know you said the Spurs in the winning the whole thing. Now, who do you have, after watching these games, who do you have pulling out the series?
Well, if it keep on going away, I feel that the Spurs probably going to win. Unless Miami puts two games together as good as the Rock and Roll series.
Really?
So right now, it looks like it's because right now the Spurs are really basically got they play all together as a good team. So,
Jeff, how's the left coast treating you?
Hey, that's beautiful. 99 degrees on the highway riding.
Okay, now this show, we on a budget now, so you can't be spending up all the money.
Okay. I won't spend the money up.
All right, Mr. McIntosh. Thanks for calling in and checking in the Sports Focus. And remember, we on a budget, brother.
Yeah, I'll fuck the budget. Never mind. I'll see y'all later.
All right, now. Thanks, Mr. McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh from the left coast known as California. Now, we was talking about the finals now. You still feel the same way?
I still say Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 7?
That's because it's no longer that 2-3-2. Mm-hmm. It's 2-2-1-1-1. And I think that's going to decide. I think they're going to be at home when they win it in Game 7.
Well, you know what? I know I had the Heat in 6. And then I started thinking, I'm like, look, last season in the finals, who was the better team? The Spurs.
The Spurs.
And, they lost a heartbreaker. And who's the better team this season?
It's supposed to be the Heat, but I think that loss broke their spirit. And I think they just never recovered. I think that shot Ray Allen hit just the straw that broke the camel's back, and I guess they never recovered.
I believe, I like the Heat and I like the Spurs. Like I said, going into this whole thing, if either team won, I really wouldn't be too, feel it whatever way. But
right.
I feel that the Spurs, they are the better team. I feel like they should win it. After losing last year,
yeah,
they should pull it out.
If they play like they played this last game, they shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, they look like, and I must say that Miami Heat defense is horrible. They almost like the Dallas Cowboys. Woo! Man, how many open three-pointers have you guys seen the Spurs? They're just standing there.
Yeah.
I don't know what basketball is that.
No, getting me was the ball rotation. You see how many times they passed that ball around?
Exactly.
It was like it was there. Somebody drive the lane, it's kicked back out, going to the corner. 3 in the air.
It's like Miami, they don't even know what to do with themselves. So you know what?
Chris Bosh said the rotation was slow.
The rotation
was slow.
Okay, all right. Ooh. Now, let's move from the NBA Finals to something we was talking about in the last program. We talking about LeBron James and how just polarizing he is. Now, I was thinking about who are the most polarizing players in today's game. I'm going to throw out Johnny Manziel. Even though he doesn't have a contract, he just got drafted, and already he is garnering the attention of anything he does. They are just shutting down half the world. Owner of the team says, you are a backup.
Act like one. Now,
Act like a backup.
That speaks volumes. It's like, okay, that should humble you right then and there. Okay, I have to earn my spot. It's not going to be given to me. I have to earn it. So he needs to get to it.
I hope everything works out for the young man, because from what I saw in college, straight G. He is a guy that's sort of leading to my next most polarizing player, Tony Romo. Now,
I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to say this flat out, and I'm going to leave the Tony Romo discussion alone. It is 53 guys
53
on that roster.
Yes.
When you have a head coach who knows when the running game is working and he pulls away from it, something is wrong. When you keep putting the weight of your team on one man's shoulders, sooner or later, it's going to break. He has won us some. He has lost us some. But if a defense knows that you're just going to keep airing the ball out, they're not worrying about your running game. They don't respect it. So you're going to get picked. Period. Romo
is so conflicting. He is if he catches the snap for the field goal in Seattle, we're not talking about Romo like this, but he did drop it.
Yeah.
It seems like Tony Romo is that athlete that it seems like it's not meant to be for him, because he's been put in these moments where, okay, it's really on you right now to make this play, and he does not make the play. But once you said it's 53 on that team, sometimes he'll get the lead and the defense just do the Olay and let the other team get the touchdown.
Or somebody run the wrong pattern and it's a timing
exactly.
pass.
But once again, it is always Romo. It's always
until
him.
Last year, Orton.
So and now there you go. You made a good point. Kyle Orton did the same thing. So what does that tell you?
I think the team is cursed. I think Jimmy said you won't win one until you apologize.
Oh, man.
And I think that's what he said.
I think, you know what it is Tom Landry looking for him. Yeah, you ain't going to win nothing now. Let's move on to our next one. And you all know and love him. Some hate him and some love him. LeBron King James. I know you hate the decision. And I think we all hate the decision. I don't know who likes the decision, that whole farce that he did on ESPN talking about, yeah, for 22 minutes I'm sitting there watching this, and then he says, oh, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. When you knew what you was going to do. And then you mask the whole boys and girls club, the donations that he was getting. But the thing with him is that he is winning now. So,
but the thing is, it took you to pull two more people in to get to where you wanted to go, instead of letting it naturally happen.
Now, do you think it would have naturally? Do you think the way the organization was headed for Cleveland, they would have went that way? Because how come they wasn't doing that?
If he would have stayed there when they hired Byron Scott, yes, because we saw what Byron Scott did with the Nets, and he got them to the NBA Finals.
But it's the organization's job to get the players. You know, you have just like it was the organization's job to surround Barry Sanders, keep the offensive line, keep these certain players, do something to go forth, and that's why he stepped out and retired. So, I mean, I understand your point as the whole. You know, you was drafted by that team, you stay with that team, but you know what?
No, not being drafted. If you would have sat there and after you were done and you decided to go elsewhere, I am 100% fine with that. My problem is, don't three people come together and decide to go to one place?
Very interesting. I wonder who put together this whole thing. Was it Wade?
They said they discussed it.
They discussed it
because they knew they all would be free agents at the same time, and they just needed one place to meet. It's just
they just like Miami. So Bosh left Canada, and then he left
because
Cleveland.
they knew Pat Riley would clear the roster to make sure them three get. You know, Pat will and deal. As LA, he wills and deals. So they knew he would have found a way.
There you have it. And now you know what time it is. The best part of the show. Cowboy talk.
That's right.
That was real firm, brother. That's right. Cowboy talk. And on deck, we have the great Emmitt Smith and the equally great Tony Dorsett. Who is the best?
That's a tough one to call.
Very tough. Hall of Famer. Heisman Trophy winner. Also champion his first year. 3-time Super Bowl champion. MVP. Pro Bowl. I mean, you got it all.
Yes. You have it all. You have power and you have quickness.
Cowboy fans, what do you think? What do you think? This is one of the toughest ones you have here, because we all know and love Tony Dorsett, probably one of the fastest running backs ever, and the great Emmitt Smith. His longevity is amazing. You know that he can take the carries and take the pounding and still play at a high level, even when he went to Arizona.
Yep. Now the biggest thing with him, hold the record for the longest run from scrimmage, 99 yards.
Which will never be broken.
And this one, just all-time leading rusher.
All-time leading rusher. This is what all these running backs, they want, deep down. They want to be the all-time leading rusher.
All right, so now we going by today's game, where it's a pass-friendly league.
Pass-friendly.
Everybody has to catch the ball out of the backfield. That would be this guy.
But Emmitt Smith caught the ball out the back.
Not as much as this one did, the swing pass, especially when Danny White became
screen pass. At one point, the Cowboys ran the screen pass better than anyone in the NFL.
But if I need somebody to control the clock like we need now, this would be the man. Because he will control the clock. He will give you 2 carries, 7 yards, and give you a nice third and very, very short, and now can take it the rest of the way.
Mind you also that both of these players played behind good offensive linemen. Emmitt was great, but with the tools of Tom Landry, he had a great offensive line. I mean, they ran the ball. So, wink, wink, Jason Garrett, you should run the football. Run the football. How about that?
Mary.
Number 29, I think his number is 29, and the name on the jersey is Murray. Run the football. So, who you got? Who would you pick if you was the general man or picking a team and these two was sitting out there?
But you know what? What comes into play is my quarterback.
Do you need a good quarterback? Do you need an okay quarterback? Do you have a bad
I need a good quarterback to sell the pass to get the run. Troy Aikman was very accurate, so you had to respect the run with Michael Irvin out on the wing.
Okay, if you take a Troy Aikman on that team with a average good offensive line, which one would you pick?
Or the average offensive line?
A good offensive line.
I take Dorsett.
Dorsett?
I take Dorsett with his quickness. He'll add a whole dimension to that 90s team that we didn't have.
I personally would take Tony D, without question. No disrespect to Emmitt Smith.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. But, brother, I think you was faking with that injury. So that cost you some points. I think you was faking in 93 against the Giants with that injury. Yeah, I called you out, and I hope you see it, too. Because how the next week, brother, you on the inside of the NFL, you swing your arms all up there talking about, oh, I'm good. You see, it don't hurt no more. Cost you some points. You think you're slick with all that smiling that you do. I'm taking Tony Dorsett. And, folks, that's all the time I have for you. Bam! This is Sports Focus. Out.